And we're off.
Although my
mic
mic
seems
seems
like
like
it's
not quite working.
I think a better thing to say would be, and our mics are off
I don't know. Scrape?
because you're not on. I don't hear you.
You're definitely on. And
That's because I had the wrong mic.
Well,
it wasn't me.
It wasn't
Thankfully.
Scrape.
Operator error.
Operator error.
Yeah.
It's on me. Welcome in,
Yeah.
everybody. 2:01
Hello.
on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby. You're still trying to get these cameras moving in the right direction. However, our voices still work. Our mouths still work. And apparently, the Houston Astros offense still works. They get their first victory of this series. And I think it was a much needed win. They don't want to go down 3-0.
No, that might have been it for the Astros. And they came out and took care of business. It's interesting, Tony. We talk about the runners in scoring position statistic a lot. Last night, Houston was 5 for 12. Texas was only 1 for 2. So, I mean, the Rangers really had no opportunities to score in that game. Josh Young hit the 2 two-run homers to keep them alive. But the Astros were basically threatening from the very start of the game. Altuve hits the first pitch of the game to the fence. It's caught. And then in the next inning, they load the bases with nobody out. They pick up 3 runs. But the one thing that I've always felt can just decide a baseball game is a 2-out hit with 2 runners in scoring position. And Martin Maldonado had one of those in the second inning. And then Alvarez had one later in the game. I think it was the 7th inning. So Houston got 2 two-run singles with 2 outs. And that's 4 runs. I mean, that's a ball game right there, and they end up winning by 3.
2-out RBI knocks, regardless whether
Right.
1 or
but
2.
to drive in 2 like that
are so big in the playoffs because a lot of times those are going to be you have the most opportunities with 2 outs. And the Astros cashed him in. Martin Maldonado, who much maligned all season long, and Dusty Baker riding with him.
Yeah, that was
despite
huge.
that. Comes up huge with I think that was probably the biggest knock of the game. That
kind of went from 1-0 to 3-0 and just kind of set the tone for the game right there. That was big.
Yordan Alvarez continues to be he's determined to try to throw a wrench in whatever the Rangers are doing right now. And he almost had another homer. He had one that was robbed in last night's game.
What a catch that was. I mean, by was it Tavares in center field? I mean, that was as good of a play as you'll see taking away a home run. In that game last night, I mean, guys were just slugging and was staying in the yard more times than not. And then when it didn't stay in the yard, Tavares brought it back. So, and the other thing is Christian Javier. I mean, I know he finally gave up the 2-run home run to Young in the 6th inning, but up until that moment, Tony, in his 4 career postseason starts, he had faced 64 batters in those 4 starts and allowed only 2 hits.
Yeah.
Only 2 for 64. And then he gave up a single and a home run back to back. But Christian Javier has been just incredible. This is a guy that had a 4.5 ERA during the regular season. But in the postseason, he's money. And I mean, he's as reliable as they get for the, 2-2 and game 5 is pivotal. No, this is it for the Rangers. They've got to win this game and go ahead 3-1. Otherwise, it's going to be 2-2 with Verlander and Framber Valdez staring at you, and the Astros having all the momentum. I think game 4 is it. If the Rangers win, they go up 3-1, they go to the World Series. But to me, if the Astros win, it's 2-2. They come back and they go to the World Series. To me, this game tonight is going to decide it.
I said the same exact thing when I went on the Houston station today. I said, this is the big game. If the Rangers don't, I mean, I think I said the word put the Rangers to the bed. Put the Astros to bed. They're in trouble because I think at that point that Astro team, their belief changes completely. And I already think they can come back and win this series.
Yeah, but I think they're pretty arrogant about it too.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? We don't care. 2-0. Now it's 2-1. We fully expect to win this thing. Bregman's making plays at third base. He looked like Brooks Robinson last night. Alvarez, Altuve hit 1 home run and 2 others to the wall.
Yeah.
The Astros play better with their season in peril.
And they played better once again on the road.
Yeah, on the road.
This is where they've done their best work. I think 22 games over 500. Going into the playoffs. And so this team is, as you said, the Rangers, they better take care of business now, because if not, you can almost feel the train coming down the train tracks with the Astros.
And the other thing with the Astros is their bullpen is unbelievable in the
Lights out.
postseason. They put up a stat last night. Over the last 2 postseasons, the Astros bullpen has a 1.27 ERA.
Yeah.
Well, what's today's game going to be? A bullpen day. It's Urquidy starting for the Astros, Heaney starting for the Rangers. Neither guy's going to pitch more than 4 innings, most likely. So it's going to come down to these bullpens, and the Astros just have a better bullpen. So, the Rangers got to find a way. I mean, they've been brilliant all postseason, but if the Astros tie this series, I think Texas is in trouble.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And so that game tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight. Yeah.
Tonight, and the first game, though, of the playoffs is game 3 of the Phillies and Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Both series going into game 3 were 2-0.
Right.
In one series, it felt like, we can't quite predict which way this is going to go. In the other series, which is this Diamondback Philly series,
we feel
everybody,
like it's over.
It feel like it's over.
We feel like it's over. Brandon Pfaadt, the rookie, is starting for the Diamondbacks. To me, he's got to get through the first inning. That's the whole key, because he's going to face Schwarber and Harper in the first inning. And if either of those guys touch off another one of these long, monstrous home runs, then I just think the Phillies get in the groove and they start the rolling stone gathers moss, and they just keep on rolling. So Pfaadt has to be careful in this first inning, get through it. They're getting underway in Arizona right now. The other thing, though, what about these crappy? I don't want to hear anything more about San Diego fans.
Yeah.
The Diamondback fans they're like selling game 3 tickets, I heard, for $10. Like, I mean, this is a team that has given you a remarkable postseason run, upset the Brewers, upset the Dodgers. Yeah. And just because they fall behind 2-0 to the Phillies, you're totally giving up on them. That's a bad look in Phoenix.
It's funny. They had the kind of, they were showing Pfaadt right now on the screen, and you can kind of see the outfield stand, just like a little corner of it. And you can see a bunch of Philly fans in that right field corner.
And they're all waiting for Schwarber to hit them a home run ball is what they're waiting for.
I think your point is well taken too. Like, that's what makes Philly so difficult. Like, you get into the first inning, the party can get started quickly.
Yeah.
With Schwarber, Turner, Harper that you're trying to navigate.
Yeah, look at the first game. Schwarber homered on the first pitch. In the second game, Turner homered on about the third pitch. So, the Diamondbacks are behind right away. They got to somehow keep, like, if I was the Diamondbacks and I had my choice as a home team, I would have chosen to bat first. Just to give myself an opportunity.
That didn't work in the last 2 series.
No, it didn't work in the last 2. But you know why I think it didn't work? Because Corbin Carroll got on base and didn't try to steal.
Yeah, that's true.
The Diamondbacks got to push the envelope. They got to take chances. That's what made them great all year. So we'll see.
Pfaadt gets the first batter of the game.
He got
with a punch out, so
he's still
a
not
third
out
of the
danger.
way there. He's a third of the way there.
Still not out of danger. Yeah. So
we got a short show today. Thursday Night Football follows. Kirk Kenney will join us in this hour. We'll have a Chris versus the Fan, a Big 5. We'll have a Daily Gambit as usual. Looks like James Harden skipped another day of practice. This saga is going to continue to unravel, I think, as we get closer and closer to opening night.
It seems like the whole sports world is originating from Philadelphia right now. You've got the Phillies doing their thing. You've got the Eagles-Dolphins game on Sunday night, which is probably the NFL game of the week. And then you got this James Harden saga with the 76ers, and who knows how that's going to turn out. Or, it seems like what will eventually happen, because based on experience, is that the Sixers will finally have to bite the bullet and put him on another team. And another team will be ecstatic to have him, and then about a year from now, he'll be tired of that team, whichever one it is. So
Back to the same song and dance.
yeah, probably so. So I'm kind of, as I said yesterday, I'm a little over James Harden, but I think this Thursday night football game might be pretty good. I don't know if a lot of people are going to pay attention to it. I saw an interesting statistic. Saints are hosting the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence.
Game time decision, I think.
Yeah, game time decision. But if he plays, in his college career, Tony, he went 34-2 at Clemson. Both of his losses were in the Superdome, where he's playing tonight. So something to keep an eye on if you believe in that kind of stuff. But we got the Thursday night football game coming up a little later. I want to find out if Scraby has decided to go out on a limb here and pick the Saints in his Survivor pool.
I was just gonna bring in Scraby. We haven't heard from him.
I know he's quiet over there.
Good,
What's
man?
going on? You all right?
Today was a sad day for the Scraby family.
What happened?
And it was coming, but our family dog, passed away at the great age of 14 this morning.
Oh, man.
So,
Sorry to hear that,
condolences
man.
for
yeah,
sure.
thank you. It was tough. It was
Yeah,
one of
that's
those
really
things.
sad.
Her name was Zoe, but I called her Dora for her entire life. So
Leave it to
Can you
to
explain?
change her name.
Can you explain?
I didn't feel like she was a Zoe and she was an explorer, so I called her Dora.
Dora the Explorer. My
Tony's
little
laughing at me, but it's 100%
my little
the truth.
4-year-old niece used to read those books many years ago, so I actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it was a big cartoon.
I used to read them to her, as a matter of fact, the Dora the Explorer. Well, I'm saddened to hear that. I mean, a family pet passing. Anybody who's got a family pet can understand how crushing that can be.
I'm trying to.
I hope your mom and dad are doing all right.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, they're probably not.
Mom's
Yeah.
definitely
Mom's
not
having a
doing
tough one,
okay.
huh?
Mom had to leave work and then go back to work.
That's the tough part about dogs in general. Is you can. It's a predictable time of how long you have with them. And so,
Yes, thank you, Gil, on the YouTube stream. Rest in peace, Zoe or Dora.
Dora.
Or Dora, right?
Yeah.
Two names.
Zoe the Dora.
Did your parents get upset with the fact that you called the dog by the wrong name
Was the
for
dog
its entire
confused at all?
life?
No, the dog answered to both names because it was from a puppy. And my
The
parents
dog answered to both names.
definitely called her Zoe for her entire life, but I never called her Zoe. I always called her Dora.
And what would she have had to be like to qualify
contrarian
as a
over here.
Zoe?
Ooh.
You know, you said she just didn't
Yeah.
look or act like a Zoe.
It's a great question.
What do you
That
have
is a
to
great
do to
question.
be a Zoe?
When I think of a Zoe, I think of Zoe Deschanel, the actress, and so
Okay.
that's where I.
So
that's
the
where my
dog
mind
needed
goes.
to look
Still-
like Zoe Deschanel, the
It still
actress?
doesn't
No,
explain
I just wasn't a fan of the Zoe name, so I named her Dora
All right.
because she
well,
was definitely an explorer. You know why
Listen.
she got that nickname? She was going through all the bushes when she was a puppy.
Listen, ultimately, it was your dog, or at least some of your dog, so you can, call her whatever she wanted to be called. And it sounds
That's
like
true.
Zora and Dora were
Zoe.
Zoe and
Zora and Dora.
Zoe and Dora seemed to jive with her. So
Well, all the
Yeah.
best to
Sorry
your
to hear
family
that.
on this
Thanks.
difficult day, Scraby. You
Yeah.
you have our okay to be very quiet and reserved today,
I
and
don't think
we'll
that doesn't make me happy though.
we'll do our best not to
you
poke,
definitely have our
poke
blessing
much fun
to
at
be
you.
quiet and reserved.
No,
today
you
if
guys
would
know
like.
that it makes me
You
happy
actually
when I
always
yell
have
and
that.
scream.
Right.
You actually always have that okay to be quiet and reserved.
At some point today, you will have
never
a chance to.
never works out, but you have our okay.
Okay, we get the point.
At some point, you all will have a chance to win a pair of tickets to Saturday's San Diego State Nevada game at Snapdragon Stadium. Grab your tickets now at goaztec.com. All right, let's get to break. Our first break of the day. More Gwynn and Chris on the way.
Did you know that you can now listen to all your favorite teams, stations, shows, and even podcasts all
All right, a couple of items to take care of here as we get underway. Gwynn and Chris, 2:20 is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, we're all together in the Odyssey Palace studios. You can watch the program now. We stream it on our YouTube channel, 97.3 The Fan SD. Also catch it on Twitter at 97.3 The Fan SD. And if you go to the YouTube channel, please make sure you take a moment to subscribe to the 97.3 The Fan page. But yeah, you can enjoy the festivities. And that means that all of our worst habits come to light. And I'll just go ahead and come clean on this so that I don't have to worry about it in the future. I bite my nails. And so
a lot of people do, Chris.
I know they do, but it doesn't look great. Like, you know who's a great nail biter? And I see him on camera biting his nails all the time.
Oh, man, who?
LeBron James.
Oh, he does.
is.
He's a major.
He's an artist with his.
He's a major nail biter. So maybe I'm not in so bad a company.
Wait, hold on. Tony just said he's an artist nail biter.
Yeah. No,
does
if you
he
watch
form-
him, like he
Yeah,
looks like
he
he's
goes
like
all
trying
out.
to do the perfect half circle there around his.
And then he just goes, "Puh," which is disgusting.
That
but-
part of it is probably less than ideal. But anyway, I bit my nails just before the show today, and I drew blood on the side of my nail.
Not an artist.
Not an artist. I need a little information from LeBron on how to do this. Anyway, I'm kind of bleeding all over here.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm on camera and I'm trying to, well, for lack of a better explanation,
Yes.
I'm sucking on my finger to
No,
try
stop.
and keep the blood from pouring out all over the table. And I'm realizing there's people watching this, and it's probably rather distasteful to them. So
Chris licks
Do you-
his fingers
I
all the time.
apologize. You're the one that chose to watch the show rather than to do what you were meant to do in the first place, which is just listen to the show.
That's
So,
not true. Not anymore. But
yeah, I know. But anyway, I'm throwing that out there.
we just had Raising Cane's come into the building with a bunch of food. So now it really, I don't know if I want to share
And that's
any
finger
food with
looking
you.
good. That's
Yeah.
finger looking
No,
good.
that's a different company. But
Right, I know.
But I don't know if I want to share any of your food now because you got
don't-
blood everywhere.
I know I do. And so it's like the whole thing has got to be making it a little uneasy for those watching the stream. And I just wanted to apologize. I don't know what else to do because I don't want to bleed all over the studio. I'm
What
sure
is-
our engineer JR is listening somewhere going, "Oh my God, he's dripping blood in the studio." Because JR is all about trying to keep this place as neat as possible.
I wish
all
people
right.
listened to him.
All right, I got that out of the way. That's the best I can do. What
Tony,
can I
are you
tell
all right? What happened over there?
What happened to Tony?
He's like, I think he injured
I
himself.
just banged my knee on this pole right here.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Celebrating my nail
No,
biting?
No, I was just trying to scoot closer to the mic.
Oh no! So you're in pain.
Uh,
You're grimacing. I'm biting my nails. Scravy's over there, heartbroken because of the dog.
Yeah.
The show is off to kind of a weird start today.
Although I did eat a bunch of Raising Cane's in the break.
That made you feel a little better.
It did.
It's amazing
It
how
did.
food can do that.
It
Thank you to the
did.
people at Raising Cane's for bringing that
Yes.
by.
Delicious.
Brandon Fott, the rookie, did get out of the first inning. He got Bryce Harper on a double play ground ball. And so he retired the Phillies, but the Diamondbacks weren't at bat very long, Tony. Ranger Suarez sliced through them 1-2-3. So
I feel like Ranger's like the secret weapon.
he's
because-
like the Christian Javier of the Phillies.
right, because you think, okay, we can breathe a little bit now that we faced Wheeler and Nola, and then you just kind of take for granted that you're going to come in and
Yeah, hopefully you get a day off.
and
Yeah.
he's at your neck too. So this is the Diamondbacks are fighting for their playoff lives in this game. So I don't expect it to get out of hand like it did in game 2. But I do think Philly will be victorious when
Yeah.
it's all said and
Well,
done.
they're scoreless in the top of the second. We will keep you up to date on the ball game. We are headed towards Thursday night football. The Jaguars and the Saints, they kick off a little after 4:30 this
Chris,
afternoon.
did you see that group? Did you see that group text we just got?
From Ben Higgins?
Yes.
Yes, I did. That's why I was laughing.
Oh.
Ben Higgins and I sit in the exact same chair.
Yeah.
So he's listening and he's worried that my nail biting is going to lead to blood all
Hey,
over his
He
seat.
Ben-
says gross. I have to sit there next.
Yeah. Sorry,
Ben,
Ben. I'm
I want to
doing
tell
my
you
best
something.
to keep track of it.
I want to tell you something that is something I bring up all the time is that Ben sits there too, Chris. keep it
okay.
clean.
Listen, you want to turn
It's
around? Let me pat you
clean.
on your back so you can
Thank
get the
you.
credit for that.
It's completely
Jeez.
clean. I just was explaining to the viewers on the stream that if I suck on my finger just a little bit, it's to keep blood from dripping on the table here.
That's a lot.
Well, what can I tell you? You're the one that decided we're going on television. So
Well, we're not on
I'm-
TV, so
I'm still adjusting
He's
to
called
the
it
cameras
television.
being around. I mean, Tony's grimacing. He's banging his knee into stuff.
I'm back.
All right.
It hurt though. but I'm
Yeah,
back.
I can totally get that. Kirk Kenney's going to join us in a little bit to talk about the Aztecs. They take on Nevada on Saturday. A couple of days away. The Aztecs trying to get back to the 500 mark, and by all rights they should. Nevada's one of the real awful teams in college football. I think they're winless, so we'll see if the Aztecs can play up to par and get back to 4-4. I also should point this out tomorrow night for those that are out and about or looking for something to do, and you're a big sports fan. Tomorrow night, the new San Diego MLS team is having its brand reveal event. It's taking place tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. It gets underway at 7:30. So if you're done with work tomorrow, you want to take the family out. It sounds like a fun event. They're going to unveil the club's name. They're going to unveil the logo, the brand identity. It's a full soccer fan fest. Of course, the new MLS team in San Diego is going to begin play in the 2025 season. But tomorrow night, kind of a fun event, sounds like, at Snapdragon Stadium.
I wonder, will ownership be there?
i.e.
Don't
Manny
know.
Machado.
I.e. Manny. Will he be in attendance for?
he has to be, right?
Manny
The
might.
new-
Maybe he'll be the public address
Yeah.
announcer.
I don't
Manny's
know
a
if he'll
good
be the
host.
public
He's a
announcer.
good host on stuff like that, isn't he?
I don't know if that's his style.
No, I know. I don't think he would jump
You're like,
center forward
do
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
I'll be
MC it.
Let
He
me take all the
volunteered for
attention
it.
away from the team and talk to everybody. No, Manny won't do that, but it should be a fun event tomorrow night, and we'll find out, I guess, once and for all what the name is of our new
Yeah.
MLS team
I'm excited.
tomorrow night. Hopefully Messi stays around long enough to come to San Diego in 2025. But that's
that. Hey, I tell you what, that if Messi comes to San Diego, this 15 freeway,
oh yeah,
It's gonna be a
Oh,
nightmare.
forget about it. It'll be up for grabs.
Forget about
a
it.
nightmare.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna make it because he's.
You don't think
missing
he's gonna
game-
make
Well,
it?
he's missing games already for the what is it
The
it's not
Miami whatever.
It's
Here's
not
the
the
thing,
Heat.
It's not as though
The Heat.
I thought for a second they were.
it's not as though when he is out there, he's like not doing anything.
No,
So,
no, he's definitely
my
playing
guess
hard.
is as long as he can still
compete.
do what he wants to do on the pitch, I'm gonna say he's got a shot.
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in town are very excited about this new soccer organization, and tomorrow night will be the big reveal. So that's coming up tomorrow night, 7:30 at Snapdragon Stadium. If you're interested in all of that, we're interested in taking a break. Phillies went down in order in the second inning, so a good start for the rookie Brandon Pfaadt. Game 3 of the NLCS is scoreless, with the Diamondbacks coming to bat in the bottom of the second inning. Later on tonight, the Astros try to tie things up against the Rangers. Also, Thursday night football. Lot to talk about. Stick around. A lot more Gwynn and Chris ahead, including Kirk Kenney getting us ready for the Aztecs when we return on 97.3 The Fan.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
We got these guys. As long as you stay
2:35. Still a few minutes away from Kirk Kenney. Michigan Wolverines football team is at it again. If you recall,
Cheating?
If you recall, their head coach was suspended for the first couple of games of the season.
Recruiting violations for Jim Harbaugh.
For Jim, yep.
Now he's potentially engaged in some more wrongdoing.
Apparently, the Big Ten approached Michigan State, not the other way around. Big Ten approached Michigan State on Wednesday ahead of this weekend's matchup between the two rivals, and with what the league described as credible evidence that the Wolverines have successfully stolen signs called by opposing teams' coaches this season.
Wow. So they're telling Michigan State to be careful.
Right. Beware.
Yeah.
The NCAA is investigating Michigan over possible rules breaking around in-person scouting of opponents. According to an industry source briefed on the matter, according to NCAA bylaw 11.6.1, off-campus in-person scouting of future opponents in the same season is prohibited.
Yeah.
An issue with the bylaw would mean a case that would likely proceed through the traditional infractions process. So, yeah, it looks like...
evidently stealing signs is not frowned upon by the NCAA, but in-season, in-person scouting of another team is illegal. So that's where Michigan is breaking the law or breaking the rules here. I love the comment from athletic director Ward Manuel, AD at Michigan. He says he wants to personally assure me, he's going to personally assure me and you, Tony, that University of Michigan athletics will offer their complete cooperation to the NCAA in this matter.
Absolutely.
He also wants to assure us that at Michigan, they are committed to the highest standards of ethics and integrity for all members of our community.
Give it up.
That is the same University of Michigan that just recently self-imposed a 3-game suspension on their own coach for recruiting violations under the watchful eye
High standard
of a school that is committed to the highest standards of ethics and integrity for all members of our community.
That's interesting because the Big Ten claims that Michigan, as one source with, knowledge of the allegations, is using a vast network to steal opposing teams' signs.
Unbelievable.
The league told Michigan State it has reviewed film that indicates UM had knowledge of what play an opposing team was going to run before the play occurred.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I mean, Michigan. I have a little bit of advice for the University of Michigan. If you're gonna cheat, why are you doing it against a schedule that includes East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Minnesota, and Indiana? Their schedule is awful. Now, defensively, they've only given up one touchdown in almost every game. I wonder why. I mean, the points against Michigan this year are 3, 7, 6, 7, 7, 10, and 7. So nobody's been able to score against this team. They're going to beat up on Michigan State this week. They'll bomb Purdue in 2 weeks, and they'll basically have a 2-game season against Penn State and Ohio State at the end of the season. But Michigan doesn't need to cheat. I mean, and we saw their defense, obviously, when they're not cheating very well, when they gave up 50-some-odd points to TCU in the national semifinal last year.
Maybe that's why they started to cheat at that point.
Maybe they decided,
like,
we can't have this happen again. And we know we all really try to love Harbaugh around here because he's got the San Diego ties, and he's so competitive, and he's a gamer, and he does everything he can to win. But I just got to believe that particular part of Jim Harbaugh sometimes goes over the edge.
He's a habitual line stepper.
There you go.
Yeah. He's always stepping on the line or just over it or just inside it.
Good call.
And this is kind of the ramifications of being a habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the
wouldn't it be great if they just took away all of Michigan's wins this year? Sorry, you're not playing in the championship. Be all right with me.
Would it be great? I don't know if it'd be great, but it's certainly.
Who wants a team playing in the national playoff that we're worried is cheating? I mean, flat out cheating.
At this point, you gotta protect your signs. If you're a team playing in Michigan, and these colleges have the wherewithal to do it. You're looking for any face that's coming off that staff. You're not letting them in the building.
Yeah, but I mean,
Why don't
I
you
mean,
guys
what
ask-
is Michigan doing? Are they hiring people at the University of Indiana?
Vast network.
Yeah, right. Who work at Indiana that can get into practice without being
They're tipping people off.
without being kicked out
Are
of practice.
paying people off.
Yeah, I don't know what Michigan's doing. I mean, is it that? I just can't deal with it.
Let's do this. Let's bring on Kirk Kenney. Let's ask him what his thoughts are on it before we get into San Diego State, because I know he's been listening to that entire conversation. Kirk, thank you for holding. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How about yourself?
Doing well. We're talking about this Jim Harbaugh situation, or Michigan situation, them sign stealing. At first, that's a foreign thing to be upset with, at least for my sport. I mean, that in-game scouting is how baseball is conducted, but here at football level, it seems like that's causing a bit of a contention there, Kirk.
I haven't seen the exact story, but I mean, aren't teams always trying to find an edge, and aren't they always looking on the other side to try and see what's going on? And,
Yeah.
and so what's crossing the line and what's not. I know one thing: all these schools are paranoid that somebody's trying to do something. I was at football practice on Tuesday, and there was a family from Denmark there visiting their daughter, who was a foreign exchange student at San Diego State. And the Aztecs were trying to chase them off from watching their practice.
That's right.
One of them took a photo, and they're like, "Hey, no photos." And then it was like, I don't know if in Denmark they're gonna, put that on social media in Denmark, and it's gonna get back to Nevada this week and cost them in the game.
That's
But
funny.
anyway.
It's funny you say that, Kirk, because when we were in the playoffs last year, I went out to Villanova to play some hoop before one of the games, and Villanova happened to be practicing, and one of the guys took us kind of through the back door, and I just peeked my head out.
Oh boy.
And my man, he had hawk eyes. He was like, "Close practice."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, let me get up out of here."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can you get? I'm agreeing with this part of it. I mean, if Michigan is breaking the rule and hiring people to go around at other schools and give Michigan information to help them prepare for a game against, say, Indiana or whoever it might be, and that's wrong for sure. But I always wonder, like you talked about the Aztecs kicking out the family from Denmark. Even if they did take a photo of practice, and even if they did send it to the University of Nevada, what would a photo of practice tell the University of Nevada?
Well, I think it would have really given them an indication of the Aztecs, how well they stretch, and what you
Yeah.
can gather from that, and how that can kind of give you really a competitive advantage.
Yeah. That's the part I've always kind of wondered. Because everybody's like, close practice. We can't give up anything. I've been to a lot of basketball practices. I can't tell anything that's going on. They're just out there running plays and putting shots up. Tony, I'm sure you were able to glean quite a bit in your 2 seconds of peeking into the.
I was too scared to glean anything. I was just trying to get up out of there. Kirk, let's start with this game this week. The Aztecs taking on Nevada. Nevada's struggling in a major way this season. What are we looking for from our Aztecs going up against Nevada?
Well, they're definitely heavily favored. I think it's up to close to 2 touchdown favorite. It's too bad because Nevada, before the last 2 years, it had been a very competitive series.
Yeah.
Aztecs had won a couple, but before that, there had been 3 straight games that were decided by a total of 13 points. But the other side of it is you just never know what you're going to get with a team that supposedly, is not as competitive as you are. But you never know when they're going to jump up and bite you. This team, I think they only lost by a touchdown to Iowa, so they've shown some competitiveness here and there. We'll just have to see what the Aztecs have in store. The biggest thing is the Nevada defense giving up a lot of points. I think they're giving up almost 40 a game, which is second to worst in the NCAA. And so that's the biggest thing, I think. How much can they contain the Aztecs offense?
So I think it's clear that the Nevada program is not cheating and tracking down signs of other teams to help them stop
Or they're not good
opposing offenses. Exactly. Kirk Kenney is with us. I watched the Hawaii game, Kirk. The Aztecs made some huge plays in this game. They had a pick 6 for a touchdown. They had a block punt that led to points. They had 3 fumble recoveries. But yeah, when I looked up, they were still involved in a very tough game, a tight game all the way around. How did Brady Hoke and company come out of this game feeling about their performance?
I think they felt good. I mean, obviously they felt good because it was a win, and that's a long flight home if you lost.
Yeah.
But they did give up a lot of yards on defense, I think close to 500, but they made big plays. And that's the difference. If you can, the 2 weeks before in conference, they had 0 turnovers or takeaways, and they had 4 in this one. So that was a huge difference. And that overcomes a lot of other things when you do that.
Kirk, can we talk a little bit about Des Malone? You wrote about him yesterday in the Union, and I couldn't help but think about so many kids nowadays in his situation, hop into the portal, they bounce to a new school. He stuck it out, and he's starting his 18th straight game here coming up, or his 19th straight game here coming up. This kid seems like he's persevered through some trying to get at the top of the chart.
Yeah, I think it's a good case study of don't just immediately, if you have some adversity, go do something else, because it shows that you persevere. And it even made him, he said, a better player by watching and learning and working harder. And this is where it's all paid off. Brady Hoke said a few weeks ago, when these guys hop in the portal, they always think the grass is greener somewhere else. And it's not necessarily that's the case.
It was nice to see Lucky Sutton get into the end zone a couple of times in that ball game on Saturday at Hawaii. We know a lot about him because our partner in crime here, Braden, coaches over at Cathedral Catholic, and I know he had some great seasons in high school here. He's had 7 carries, but gone for 2 touchdowns. This running back by committee thing. Again, I'll ask, I mean, do the Aztecs want somebody to take hold of this thing, or do they mind moving it around? I mean, Armstead's got 5 touchdowns. Blake gives you something different. Keenan Christian gives you something different. Now Lucky Sutton gets into the act.
I think they'd love to have that one guy who could take the ball 20, 25 times a game. But if there's not someone who's going to step up above the rest, then I think it is good to be able to have guys, like you said, that can do various things. Keenan Christian's a state champion sprinter from high school, and if he gets the corner, he's gone. Jalen Armstead's a big back who can be a bruiser, and Martin Blake has shown both the ability to be a bruiser but also catch the ball out of the backfield. And now seeing Lucky Sutton have a couple good carries, it's interesting to see what he can do with that.
Kirk, how would you think of Jalen Mayden's year so far? I mean, this is a kid who had a ton of promise finishing up last year, coming into this year. Seemed like he got off to a slow start, but as you said, started to make some plays here as of late. How would you kind of put together his year so far?
He's been up and down, I think, just because he's made a couple more turnovers than obviously they'd like to see. But I just think he works so hard and he tries to make things happen. And that's what I think has set him apart, and very, very well liked by his teammates, and just the effort he puts in. He's willing to do whatever he can, puts himself at risk more when he runs. But I think I'd like to see him throw downfield a little bit more, but I think by and large, he's done a pretty good job. And if he can just limit the turnovers a little bit, I think he could really make some great strides in the next couple of weeks.
How's the mood of Brady Hoke these days? How's the head ball coach doing right now? I mean, with his team, he's got to win 3 of his last 5 to get to a bowl game. I would think that a bowl game is at the very minimum of what the Aztecs would expect from a season. Confident that they can. I mean, the schedule down the stretch has Fresno State, has a pretty good San Jose State, still Utah and Colorado State. So there's some good teams out there after they play Nevada.
Yeah, it's been an interesting conference season so far. Other than Air Force, which is undefeated, teams have taken turns kind of beating each other, and teams that we thought were Fresno State's been very good, but they lost a game. Boise State's been good, but they blew a lead the other night and lost. And some of the other teams that are in the middle of the pack, on any given week, I think they can beat somebody or they can lose. So I think down the stretch is going to be very interesting. Brady was pretty upbeat this week, but I would think so after 4 straight losses to get a win. He's going to be back on a track where I think maybe some things are possible.
Aztecs look to get their 4th win of the season, try to make it 2 in a row. Kirk, appreciate you coming on. We'll check in with you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kirk.
Kirk Kenney, Union Tribune, here on Gwynn and Chris. Currently, an update: bottom of third, 0-0 ball game in Arizona.
Yeah, Schwarber came up
Yeah,
in
I
the
saw
top
it.
of the third inning with a guy on and hit one about 530 feet foul.
That might be a good sign for Diamondbacks. We talked about it yesterday when the Diamondbacks had made mistakes.
Everything
Philly
went
wasn't
out of the
missing.
ballpark. Yeah,
He
he missed it.
spun a slider right in the middle of the plate,
Oh,
and
did
he
he
was a little bit out
crush
in
it.
front, and it goes foul.
I mean, it was one of those high,
yeah,
like 9 irons, only a 9 iron that goes 450 feet into the deep corner. And then he struck him out looking on the next pitch, which is kind of one of the crazy things about baseball. But, yeah, the Diamondbacks dodged the first bullet of this game. That's important. This weekend, again, college football doesn't give us a whole lot of great matchups. I think Penn State, Ohio State's the best. It's Saturday morning. Tennessee gets Alabama in the mid-afternoon game. Tennessee, remember, beat Alabama last year in that crazy, was it 52-49, something like that? So
the goalpost got stolen.
The goalpost got stolen.
There's a whole
somewhere
article
in a river somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a whole article that came out today about those goalposts and how much it costs to like put up new goalposts. You know, it costs $12,000 for 2 goalposts.
So where did they take goalposts?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just like hide a goalpost.
I can walk down the street with a
No,
goalpost.
I mean they threw it. I believe they threw it in some sort of body of water.
There is a river just outside of Neyland Stadium. I don't know what the river is.
There's pictures of the authorities like trying to pull the goalpost away from people. It's like, what are you going to do at this point with the goalpost?
How are you going to stop it?
So they had to pay the fine of the fans rushing the field, and they had to pay for new goalposts.
Well, they won't have to do that this time because the game's at Alabama. So unless Alabama wins, and I don't know if Tennessee wins, did they storm the Alabama field and steal their goalposts?
That would be hilarious.
That would be impressive.
That would be.
Tennessee fans could pull that off.
How about this? So this just came down about 20 minutes ago. Cooperstown. Jim Leland, Lou Piniella, Cito Gaston, and Davey Johnson are among 8 men on the ballot of Hall of Fame's contemporary era committee for managers, executives, and umpires that meet on December 3rd at the winter meetings in Nashville. In addition to 4 managers, the ballot includes umpires, Joe West, Ed Montague.
Cowboy Joe.
Yeah. Ed
Where's
Montague?
Angel Hernandez? He didn't get on there.
He's still
he's still active.
He's always in midseason form, though.
Yeah,
he's still active.
He'll have a shot.
Yeah. Well,
Former National League President Bill White and former General Manager Hank Peters, the Hall
round
said
out
Thursday.
the crew.
Yeah.
I would think Lou Piniella.
Yep.
And I would think Jim Leland
Yep.
both probably need to go into the Hall of Fame. I think Cito Gaston has.
How about Davey Johnson?
The back-to-back World Series. Davey Johnson, I think maybe as a player and a manager. I mean, the guy had 1,300 wins as a manager. And he was also a pretty good player with 136 home runs as a second baseman back in the day for the Braves and Orioles. I don't know that Davey Johnson, to me, is in the
He's
level.
about 500, a little less than 500 wins away from Piniella.
Yeah, I think Piniella and Leland got to go in. I mean, they're
I
both
agree.
at 1,800. Leland had his World Series. Piniella had his World Series. Piniella was a 3-time manager of the year. I mean, if you win that 3 times, Leland won it 3 times. Also managed the U.S. to a World Baseball Classic. I think those 2 guys are Hall of Famers. I think the other guys are Hall of really, really good.
Yeah.
So
He won it in 2 different decades. Leland.
yeah.
90, 92, and in 2006.
I got something when we come back
Okay.
that is about one of the people in this room.
Oh, no.
And they don't know that I'm going to say this.
Oh, no.
But I'm about to congratulate one of the people in this room on a remarkably nice honor.
Huh.
Not me.
You'll have to stay tuned to find
Well,
out.
we gotta-
Okay, we got to stretch it. As
Pizza dough.
Oh, we're not quite
Pizza
ready.
dough.
We're not quite
Pizza
ready to
dough.
go to break.
If
I didn't make
anybody's
that long
wondering
enough.
what the pizza dough is like, it's here
that
at the
was
camera
almost
on
a
YouTube.
good segue. We just got about like
It's
another
just a
minute
little
and half.
short.
Yeah.
Man, can we redo that in like 40 seconds?
Well, it's an amazingly good honor. And I think that person is going to be obviously didn't want to mention it to us, but I was able to do a little digging and find out what's going on.
It's definitely not me.
Well, it's definitely not me. So there's only 3 people in here.
It's Tony?
It might be Tony.
This
but-
guy?
Yeah, it's
me
a
some
big
meat.
done deal, man. I'm really excited for him. I know he knows what it is now.
Yeah, I do.
So that's
I do.
coming up. Actually, you can blame for this. My mother-in-law lives in your neck of the woods and subscribes to the Poway Chieftain newspaper, whatever it is. And it showed up on her doorstep today, and she took a picture of the cover of the paper. So we'll pass along the exciting news when we come back, along with our daily gambit. Still no score. Diamondbacks and Phillies. End of 3 innings in Game 3. They're going to the 4th in Arizona.
3
More-
o'clock hour on the way. More Gwynn and Chris.
o'clock is the time. It is hour number 2 of our short Thursday program. Get together here on 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby alongside. It's Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's sports talk leader, and also streaming live on YouTube. You can watch the program as we go along here each afternoon. We'll be here till 4:30 today. Then we head on into NFL football Thursday night game featuring the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave, the old Mission Hills High School kid from San Diego, stars for the Saints. So he'll be in action tonight. And still, has there been a word yet on whether Trevor Lawrence is going to play in this game?
It's getting kind of late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jags
make a
coach,
decision here.
here's the headline. Jags coach expects Lawrence to start pending a workout. So that's not exactly a
That's-
total guarantee.
That's still a game time decision.
Still a game time decision for Trevor Lawrence, who, as we mentioned earlier, only lost 2 games in college when he was at Clemson, and both of those games were in the building he's going to play tonight. So we'll see how it goes. C.J. Beathard could get the start if Lawrence cannot play. You'll definitely want to tune in for that.
I think this is funny right here. I don't know if this is the way ESPN is writing it or what, but follow up to that Michigan story. Harbaugh surprised by NCAA sign
Of
stealing
course,
probe.
caught him by total shock. He has no clue this is going on. Harbaugh is a classic. He is a classic. Did he have a quote in here? I'm sure he probably did.
I didn't see the quote. I just thought the title of the story was quite funny.
Yeah. Harbaugh has no idea that
Surprised.
Michigan is now what? Us?
No.
Why would we ever do something like that? They're still facing 4 violations from all the allegations of recruiting cheating that Harbaugh was involved in at Michigan.
Yeah.
It's funny because these coaches most of the time are like Teflon, right? It bounces right off. Nobody cares much about it unless you're in charge of a Northwestern,
Yeah.
where you've got something,
Yeah, you're not going to survive hazing. You're not going to survive domestic violence.
right?
At least you shouldn't.
Yeah, cheating is fine.
Cheating, you're going to have to jump through some hoops to get them out of there for cheating, though.
Yeah, well, they won't get Harbaugh out. Harbaugh has he had no idea. He doesn't know.
He did.
He doesn't know what's going on in his own program. Why would he know? He's only the head coach
He
of
doesn't
Michigan.
know that somehow they're getting signs from the other team.
Yeah,
It's just
he didn't know
pops-
anything about the recruiting violations either, if I
Yeah.
recall. He had no clue. Absolutely no idea. I don't even know what play we're calling.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. All right, here's the thing. Tony Gwynn Jr. has been selected to be inducted, and we are quite proud of him.
It's as quick as I can get some royalty
That's
music.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's hear it. Tony Gwynn Jr. has been selected to be inducted into the Poway Titan Hall of Fame. Congratulations. He will be honored at an event on November the 4th. A couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Tony Gwynn Jr. I know this was probably getting this show to the top of the ratings is what pushed you over the top.
It probably did.
You weren't there until you started doing this radio show, and we all became famous.
I
But,
missed the mark a couple times.
did you really have
Yeah.
a chance to get inducted and didn't make it?
Missed
Is
the
that
mark.
right?
Yeah.
I had no idea that.
I missed the
I
mark.
just figured you'd be a formality.
The funny thing, first of all, big thanks to Larry Ott, who has been kind of the guy spearheading this whole thing. I honestly, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, can we knock it off with the music?
I've been trying to find a better.
What are you playing now?
It's called Athena's Victory.
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
He approached me I was at a Poway Titan kind of alumni game, and we started talking a little bit. And I honestly didn't know there was a Poway Titan Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah.
And so as he started explaining it to me, I was like, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be fun. Sure.
And so I think I missed out on enough votes to last the first couple times, and then
Really?
I
You
got
didn't
it.
get the votes?
I didn't get the votes.
Did they
man.
know your name is Tony Gwynn? He built your dad built the actual Poway Hall of Fame. He's the first one to receive the honor.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Well, he didn't. He didn't get in because he didn't go to Poway High. But nonetheless, I'm excited. I'm thankful. Obviously, when people in your community think you have had enough success to vote you in something.
Well, we're
like this.
proud of you.
Yeah,
Very
so,
good.
Pretty
Like
cool
I said,
honor.
there's a headline story if you're in the North County area and you can find yourself a Poway Chieftain newspaper. Tony is the headline story on the front page. That's how my mother-in-law tracked you down today and sent me a copy. Scrabius put a picture up that is in the article.
I just tweeted it.
Of a young Tony
slim
Gwynn
TG2.
Jr. rounding the bases in his Poway High uniform, wearing number 1 back in the day.
Yeah.
So you can catch that. Scraby, you tweeted that out?
Yeah,
So-
at 97.3 the Fan SD, and we're getting a lot of congratulations on our YouTube stream.
Thank you,
Matt,
everybody.
C20, Maria, Robert.
Did you see me lacing one against your alumni there? I see La Costa Canyon.
Well,
in
I
one of those
immediately
pictures.
knew it was La Costa Canyon. Are you lacing one?
Oh yeah.
Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember who you were playing again, or like what pitcher?
I don't, but I remember I had like 4 or 5 hits that day.
You're crushing.
You
one.
had 4
It
or
looks
5
like
hits
you're
that day.
crushing one there.
Tony's like, oh yes, I remember that day. I had like 17 hits in that game against La Costa
you remember the
Canyon.
good
You
days.
remember
Yeah, that's
5
true.
hit days.
No,
man.
that's
That's,
true.
Come on, man.
that's pretty good
No,
stuff.
you're right. You're right. LCC's field is pretty big for a high school field.
Yeah, it's one of the. Well, at the time, it was one of the better fields in the county. I haven't.
It
been
was
to
brand new. If that was
Yeah,
picture was 1999, that's when the high
That's
school
99, 2000.
It was like 3 years old at that point.
Yeah, that was fun times. Playing,
Well,
we're
we're-
high school baseball, man. It was a lot simpler, right? You just like show up in your car. You show up in my rodeo, get in there, and we used to put. I remember putting my.
Did you
bat-
drive yourself to road games?
we
They didn't
did-
have a bus?
No, I'm trying-
Must have had a bus.
I think
no?
I think we had a bus. No, I think we drove. I think we all drove to.
To
That was
away games?
it was a much simpler time. You
Yeah,
can't
it
do that
was.
now. Like
No.
now
We
you-
drove when I was in high school. We drove to
Yeah.
away games. We
Yeah,
did not ride a bus to away games. We
It was a-
carpooled.
It was a way for
and,
the school to save money. They didn't have
yeah,
to.
we
they didn't
drove
have to
right
get a
down to
bus.
the game. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was much simpler now. Now you got to like get permission slips to like drive
Yeah.
on your own. It's different.
well, that's
ballgame.
pretty cool. You're in your high school's Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, it
Scraby,
is.
how are you doing coming along in the La Costa Canyon vote?
I haven't
that going
been
anywhere?
approached yet about it.
Yet?
But one day I do
You're
plan
keeping
on
hope alive, though.
one
huh?
day I do plan on having a wing named after
A
me.
wing?
Okay, all right.
All right.
What kind
Not
of
known-
donation you gonna give? Then?
$10. Not a wing.
I don't
but
think that gets you a wing, though.
I don't. I think
I would like to give the high school $10. What? $10?
I would like to get my name next to Kevin O'Connell's name in the
Where it
record
belongs.
books. Yeah,
Where it
exactly.
belongs.
Where it belongs.
For my
You're
former high school
great
football
high
teammate,
school
current
teammate.
Minnesota Viking head coach. I will be cheering against him on Monday night, though, because
Does he
my,
know
40
Well, of course.
my
you would.
49ers are playing the
Yeah.
Vikings. So,
Yeah. That's fair enough.
you know, he's having a tough year. We had a long talk last night. He said,
Did you?
no, we
Oh.
didn't.
I
We
was about to
actually-
say. I hope you asked him to come
You
on.
I don't even know who Scraby is.
No,
I mean, this
no,
whole
that's
notion
not
that they're like
He's
best
already forgot
friends
about you.
is laughable.
Are you kidding me? We have a promo, 2 promos on the station of him calling me the best scout team player ever.
That was so kind of him to say that
You know,
during an interview with us.
most people I know wouldn't feel great about being the best scout team
I know
player
where
ever.
I know where I was. My skill level
Where you're
took me.
slotted.
I had dreams of playing professional football. Like,
Did you?
growing up, I really, really wanted to play professional football, and I wanted to be a 49er so bad. And it really did break my heart the day I realized that I'm not good.
That was going to be my next question. At what point did it dawn on you, like, maybe this isn't it for me?
I will tell you, when the JV went up against the varsity.
This is what, your sophomore year?
Yeah,
Okay.
sophomore year, and the JV goes up against the varsity, and there was a guy named Joe Toledo that played at our school, and he was massive, and he hit me.
Defensive lineman?
No, he was a tight
Linebacker?
end. He was a
Oh,
tight end, but he ended up, I believe, going to Nebraska to play offensive line for Nebraska. So that's how big this dude is. But he just completely destroyed me. And
Now describe that. The destroyed part. Like it
just bull rushed me on offense, basically. Just picked me up and threw me to the side. And I had to go up against him a couple times. And so I was like trying different things, and then I couldn't even do anything. So I realized at that moment I'm probably not set for the NFL.
the trying different things part really got me.
Oh,
So
like
you're
they
trying to
teach
come
you the
off and-
swim move, the swim move where you chop their arm and you swim. You try the just the arm chops. I like the arm chops because you chop at the hinge of the elbow and it kind of hurts them a little bit. But his arm didn't move when my hand chopped it.
That's too funny.
Well, that's why you took up squash.
Yes.
Exactly. And all the squash.
Because the football career didn't work out for you.
By the way, could you send me a link to where the squash courts are? You said they're all around San Diego.
You know what?
I've been looking all over for these bad boys. I cannot find one.
The last time I Googled squash court near me, it took me to Wisconsin. It took me to the actual street squash court.
If you guys are wondering, by the way, I'm not being considered for the Beverly Hills High School Hall of Fame.
Well, you got
either,
some stiff competition. If
there's, I was just looking at some of the alumni we have. I didn't
pretty-
even know half of these. Angelina Jolie, Slash,
Oh, okay.
Slash.
They went to Beverly Hills High, huh?
Yeah, they all went to Beverly Hills.
Anybody in your class
Yeah.
that
No.
close to your class?
No, in my class, I would be among the more famous ones.
Okay.
We didn't have anybody big in our class, but we had Nicolas Cage in school when I was in school, same as Lenny Kravitz. They were actually after me. But we had quite a few major celebrities, obviously, Beverly Hills High School.
Beverly
So
Hills
I've
High
not
was
been
popping it.
I've never been considered, nor should I be.
No, you should.
So-
You should. You've done great things. Tony, let me start that over.
Yeah, go ahead.
A YouTube streamer, Rocky, I'm going to have to figure out a way to reference people better, said played with TG Jr. on the 1999 area code team with Adrian Gonzalez. It was stacked.
It was a pretty good
Not
team.
bad.
I
we
mean,
went, the funny thing is the area codes was like the first time that I thought, oh man,
You
I
could maybe do something?
I might be able to play this. Because up until that point, I was like infatuated with
Right. There has
basketball.
to be a moment, though, when you
There
realize
was.
you're good enough at something to go on and do it professionally.
So I didn't play varsity until my junior year. And so I had a really good junior year. And, in 99, it wasn't like it is now. Like the season ended. I was like, happy summer was around the corner. I was getting ready to play some basketball. And I remember Coach Perry, who was the head coach at Poway at the time. It's like, hey man, you've been invited to some area code game. He didn't say some area code. He said area code game. I was like, had no idea what it was.
But you played in that
said
and you
just
thought
show
these
up.
are the best
Yeah.
players, and I'm hanging with them.
And I go up Blair Field, and you're facing people from all over the United States, and had a pretty good showing. And at that point, it was like, okay, I might be able to do this. And then maybe a week later, I started getting letters from school, and that's when the light went on. Like, oh, this is probably the better route for me as opposed to trying to play basketball.
I used to, well, yes. I mean, obviously it paid
It
off.
seemed to work out.
But I used to get so jealous in the locker room when the guys would bring in their like recruiting letters that they get. And
Scout team players don't get recruiting letters.
I'm well aware,
Were
Chris.
you
You didn't know that at the
expecting
time,
that
though.
you were going to get some?
No, but I always thought it would be cool to just walk in and be like, "Hey, Florida State just offered me a scholarship."
To play squash.
Yes, to play squash.
I finally found a classmate of mine that was at Beverly Hills High School that did become famous. Betty White and I were
there you go.
no, not Betty White.
You guys were in the same
She
class,
was
right?
100 years old.
Yeah,
We're not in the
in
same
your
class
class.
Makes
as
sense
Betty
then.
White.
Yeah.
All right, we
You're
have a daily
100 years
gambit
old.
to get to. We didn't get to it there. We'll get to it next as Gwynn and Chris continues after traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly
we're going to do what we tried to do last segment, couldn't actually get done.
Well, we were too busy inducting you in the Poway Titan Hall of Fame.
I very much appreciate it.
Once again,
gentlemen.
congratulations.
And thank you for the
That's
kind
huge.
words to all of our folks watching the stream. Scraby has been reporting them all. So
that's awesome.
I am very thankful.
November 4th. Do you know what the ceremony is going to entail?
I still have to find someone to introduce me. My first.
I bet both of us would be hilarious up there.
I think you guys would. Probably the wrong crowd for
Yeah,
for you two.
probably don't want us. No.
Chris and I start fighting during Tony's induction.
What do you mean?
I can 100% see
Chris,
that.
that was my part.
All right, let's jump into the Daily Gambit because we didn't get to it last segment.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
The Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Everybody, please gamble responsibly. And we're going to start with what we did last night, and that was Sam Houston State and Florida International.
Oh,
Man, Sam Houston State, they were 5.5-point favorites in this one. They were defeated 0-6, I believe, heading into the game.
I don't like the way you're starting. With
Florida
your
International was the other team. All of us picked Florida International to cover. Sam Houston State did go into double OT with Florida International, but the Panthers of Florida International won 33-27. 0-7 are the
Man.
Sam Houston State Bearcats with a K.
It's been tough. It's been tough sledding.
It has been tough sledding.
At
for
least
them.
we all bet on the right side.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
So we win that one. Liberty.
We didn't trust them.
Yeah, we didn't. New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces last night for the title. If the Aces won, Chris and I chose the Liberty with a 6-point being a 6-point favorite. Tony chose the Aces. Tony is correct. Aces win the title 70-69.
Hell of a game. It came right down to the end. Liberty had a possession to try and win it, and the Aces got the stop defensively to become the first repeat WNBA champions, and they did it without two starters in their lineup. So
it's pretty
congratulations to Kelsey Plum, who probably will be joining you in the Poway Titan Hall of Fame. Or did she
go to Poway?
She didn't go to Poway. She's from Poway.
Yeah.
But she went to La Jolla Country Day. That's right.
Okay.
Anyway, another great Powegian.
That's how we build them.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
Kelsey
what
Plum.
can I tell you?
She's got her second consecutive championship. Congrats.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. Now, total score in the game last night between the Rangers and the Astros, over under of 9. All of us, or actually Chris said under, Tony said under, I said over, and it was over. 13 runs in the game last night, 8-5.
Big offensive explosion out there.
Now, part of the reason that happened is because Max Scherzer started for the Rangers, and he did not have a good outing. The bet was over under 13.5 outs. How many outs would he pitch in the game? You guys went over, I went under, and it was just under at 12. He went 4 innings, so 12 outs.
Max was betrayed by his slider last night.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he
He
did.
said he was betrayed by his slider.
Well, I didn't know if he said betrayed, but just watching the game, he just didn't have the feel for it.
I mean, isn't that what happens when you don't pitch for a month and a half?
But, it's Max, so he thinks he can not pitch for a month, and he expects to come out. And
he also maybe they were trying to make something of nothing, but he also looked like he was a little bit annoyed at being taken out of that game.
He's always annoyed.
Which is Max Scherzer to a T, right?
He doesn't care if it's Bruce Bochy, whoever it is.
He was touting it up with Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. He wasn't complaining to Boch, but Boch was within earshot of the complaining.
What was the score like when he was?
It was 5-0. I mean, I'm like,
there you go.
What'd you expect?
Listen, Boch, of all people, is used to that. I mean, he had the likes of Kevin Brown, who I'm sure never wanted to come out of a game.
Okay,
I mean, he had Bumgarner. We know.
Oh, there you go.
He's mad about everything.
Yeah.
So he's used to it. The good managers, especially a guy like Boch, they have a crazy way of just ignoring you. Like, you could be standing within an earshot, and they pretend like you aren't even nowhere near them.
They do what they have to do.
Exactly.
That is funny. I do like it when the pitcher's mad and the manager's like, I don't care, give me the ball.
Right.
And then the guy won't give him the ball. He's like, give me the ball.
The worst thing is to flip the ball to the manager.
Yes, Chris
as I
Ell knows
did
a
to
lot
Jim
about that.
Dietz one time.
Yes, we've heard about that.
That put me on the sidelines for about a month.
Even I cringed from the outfield seeing a pitcher like
Flip the ball
like,
to the manager.
Man, that's
Yeah.
not good.
That's not going to
Don't
go
do
well.
that.
I can get why flipping the ball is seen as a bad thing, but like,
And most managers will let that ball fall. Like they're not gonna they're gonna let it drop and then have you pick it up and hand it to them.
Okay, that's
Now,
what I thought.
Coach Dietz might not have because he probably snatched it.
He was too busy yelling at me to think about dropping the ball. He was grabbing for my neck at the time.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the bets for tonight. I have one parlay plus 320 for the Thursday night football game. I almost said Thursday night baseball. That's not a thing. Alvin Kamara, anytime TD score, first leg of that. I think that he is going to get a touchdown tonight. Over 61.5 receiving yards for Chris Olave and over 4.5 catches for Chris Olave. So he needs to go 5 for 62 for that to happen. And Alvin Kamara needs
4.5 catches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, I will say Chris Olave has been he's been good, but mostly slow on the catches and stuff.
Derek Carr hasn't been as good as he normally is.
Yeah, I don't know why they're actually
Chris
playing
Olave
him.
had a huge game against me in fantasy sports last week.
That's
I think
why I
he
was
had
trying to
8 for
say
79 and put up plenty of points. So
Yeah, that's why I was trying to say he
Slow start
for sure. And like sometimes you're in the fourth quarter and he has like a catch, and then you look back and he's got 7 catches.
Yeah, well, he realized I better pick it up because
Chris Ello's playing.
we got to beat Chris Ello this week, and they did. All right, I got Jacksonville, New Orleans over 40.5 points for the game. Now, keep in mind, last week, only 7 teams went over 20. Will that trend continue tonight, Tony Gwynn Jr.? 40.5 points total.
It will continue.
You're going to go under.
I'm going under.
All right. Without Trevor Lawrence, possibly, under seems like the way to go. I'll go under as well. Scraby, what do you like here? 40.5 points. 21-20 would beat that.
Under.
All three of us are going
Yeah,
under.
I can't see him going over.
Okay. Astros and Rangers, 10 runs. Last night it was 9 runs. Tonight it goes up to 10 runs. I'll go first. With these pitchers, I mean, it's going to be a bullpen day. I'll go over. I feel like I'm running to the wrong side every single time. Last night I went under, it went over. Today I'll go over. Scraby.
You know, I'm gonna go with you, and I'm gonna go the opposite of you. Under.
I'm gonna go with you.
I know.
And I'm gonna go the opposite of you.
I
We
know.
can't do both.
Well
buddy.
said, Scraby. I don't know what
My
you
dog
meant.
died today. Give me a break.
I'm going under.
Under for Tony. So both of you are going under. I'm going over. Andrew Heaney starts for the Rangers tonight. All he has to do is get through 3 1/3 innings. 10.5 outs is his over-under. Not expecting him to be around long. Scraby.
Wait, Tony, what did you do on the last one? Under?
Under.
Under. Okay. It's for Andrew Heaney, 10.5 outs.
He needs to get 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Yeah,
to
I
go
think.
over.
I mean, if they're going with a bullpen game, maybe the plan is to get him out earlier. So I'm gonna say under.
Under. I'll say under also. Tony, what do you like here?
Over.
Over. All right. If he goes through 4 innings, you'll win. And finally, college football. Only the finest teams play on Thursday night. Tonight it is James Madison against Marshall.
Oh, the Bulldogs versus the Thunder and Herd.
Or the person, James Madison, going against some guy named Marshall.
I didn't know where he was going with that, but that was funny.
Some guy named Marshall.
James Madison, by the way, is one of 11 undefeated teams in the nation. They're 6-0.
Wow. JMU.
Marshall is 4-2. They're at home. Marshall is getting 4.5 points, Tony, against the undefeated.
Marshall.
Is that who you want, or you just wanted to say that?
I just wanted to say that.
All right.
But give me Marshall.
You'll take Marshall anyway.
Marshall's in West Virginia, right?
Indeed.
It is. Very good. Scraby, who do you like here?
James Madison's in Virginia.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for dropping knowledge on us.
Just trying to show people I'm smart.
You are. You don't need to do that. They already know you're
you
smart.
show that
Okay?
every
If
day.
you listen to the show on a regular basis, you know that Scraby's smart. Come on.
I'm going to go with the undefeated team, the Bulldogs of
James
James
Madison. Give the points on the road. I'll take the home dog. Marshall.
Wait, I thought Marshall was favored.
No, Marshall's getting
they're
4.5
getting 4.5.
points. James Madison's undefeated.
Ah.
You know,
Do you want to change your pick?
No.
All right.
All
There
right.
you go. After all of that, you have it. Brandon Fott did himself proud in this game, Tony.
yes, he did.
Man, did he pitch amazing. He got 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts against the Phillies. They just took him out with Schwarber coming to bat, 2 outs, bases empty in the 6th. So still no score
Yeah,
in that ball game.
I think it's pronounced Saul Frank.
Yeah, I didn't want to take a chance at this guy, the reliever who came
Sal
in.
Frank or Saul Frank
Yeah,
came promptly in and went 3-0
yeah,
to
and
Schwarber.
Schwarber.
So we'll see how this one ends.
Yeah, that's a crazy move to take Fott out after, but 2 times through the order is all that Torey Lovullo was willing to give him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now it's up to the Arizona bullpen.
All right, let's get to break.
Yeah.
In the Big Five, which is early today, we are going to talk about the San Diego FC logo. It has been leaked.
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen?
What?
Scraby's mad.
He doesn't like it. There's a stop. There's a stunner.
He's upset with something.
That's next.
Morgan.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Greg is in La Jolla. Good morning, Greg.
I had a golf ball collection.
time. The Arizona Diamondbacks are hoping the time is also for them to get on the scoreboard. No score. Phillies and Diamondbacks are in the bottom of the 6th inning. D-backs got a lead double from Ketel Marte. Corbin Carroll's ground out moved him to third with 1 out. Ranger Suarez has just been taken out of the game for the Phillies after a brilliant start. But rookie Brandon Pfaadt matched him pitch for pitch on the Arizona side. So it's scoreless with the Diamondbacks threatening in the bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies pen coming into the game. Before we go a whole lot further and get into the Big Five, there's one other subject that is almost as important to all of us on this program as is sports. That subject would be food. And when one of us professes a love for something as gross sounding,
I didn't know where you're going, but
as
now I
this,
do. No.
I think we need to bring it to light. So, Tony, you want to explain?
Pickles?
No, it's not pickles. Because most people kind of like pickles, or even at least 50-50.
I think most people around the world, once a French fry goes cold,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it
You
becomes
can't really,
limp.
you can't really revitalize a cold fry.
Can't revitalize it.
You know,
Can't send it to a spa.
at least now until recently into these air fryers came out.
I feel like you're really just like a bad eater. You've given up
Right.
if you're eating
eating
a batch of cold French fries.
And mind you, we're talking cold fries.
Yeah, ice cold.
Now, I don't know of anybody that I know that has eaten a frozen French fry. So the fries you get at the grocery store in the freezer,
Okay.
before you dump them into said fryer or air fryer,
Yeah.
this guy, a la Matt Scraby, is eating frozen French fries, and he professed
And
a
he
love
likes
for
them.
them. Yeah, he professed a love for
He
them.
likes them.
And I just
how many can you eat?
I just can't understand.
Can you eat like the whole bag,
this
or
whole
that
process.
type of thing?
No,
or do you just
no.
like want to have one.
No, it still has the same calorie
Does
level
it,
as.
or what are you tasting?
I
You're
guess
not tasting potato at that
No,
point.
I guess it's kind of like a frozen potato popsicle or a potato
That
popsicle.
sounds disgusting.
Ever since I was little, for some reason, I like to eat.
Tony just gave a live
He
version of
did.
one of my favorite clips. That one.
When I was little, my mom used to tell me to stop eating frozen French fries all the time, and I was just telling the guys that I ate frozen French fries. Even last night, I walked by, got 2 frozen French fries, ate them, and went on my merry way.
Where were they? In your freezer, or were they?
Yes, in the freezer. That's where they're supposed
Yeah, I
to be.
guess that's where they would be. But you were just going by. So you're basically just going by the freezer, had a notion to reach in and grab a couple of frozen fries and then move about your evening.
Yes. And I do this
Disgusting.
at least once a week.
Does anybody else eat frozen French fries? I
Judging by
can't
the
believe anyone
stream,
does.
Stop it.
I'm an alien.
Yeah, you are an alien. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's,
strange.
you know, I might look at you sideways if you are like crushing cold fries, but if you're eating frozen fries, I don't know if I could like be around you.
That's fine. Dominic said, "Scraby, that's twisted, bro."
That is, man, frozen fries.
My Scraby from Maria.
You might as well get the fries that fell in the cracks of your seats and just eat those.
That is repulsive, Tony. Repulsive.
You know, when you're eating a frozen French fry, you're only a minute or two removed from eating a nice, fresh, hot, piping French fry.
That's not true. It takes at least 10 to 15 minutes to eat
in the microwave.
Okay, now we're in a
We're
whole
moving
new
into a
realm.
whole other category.
I don't know. I don't do
microwaving French fries.
I don't do frozen
fries.
French fries. I thought you could
You
microwave
don't
them.
do frozen French
No,
fries?
I don't.
Why?
So you
'cause
don't cook any French fries at your
no,
on your own?
Don't
Like-
have any French fries in my house.
Okay, so that explains that.
Yeah.
Nate said, "I'm a weirdo."
Nate, we've been through that.
Yeah, at least he has a line with the seat fries. That's repulsive, Tony.
I'm just saying, man.
All right, let's go from that to some traffic and then a big five. How about that?
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Well, so far I'm not impressed with people's driving skills this afternoon, guys. Southbound side of the 5 at the 805, two-vehicle accident in the center divide. Now further south in the 805 at La Jolla Village Drive. Stalled car in the HOV lane. North 805, a ladder in middle lanes at Sorrento Valley. Also traveling on the southbound 163 before Park Boulevard. Collision over to the right shoulder. Two-vehicle accident southbound 15 at University. Seems to be blocking the two left lanes. Also crashing the transition ramp south 125 at the eastbound 8. That's over the right shoulder. And collision eastbound King Freeway just before Kelton. It's over the right shoulder. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danik with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the Big Five, going to be a carryover because of those guys, not because of me. This hour is brought to you by the Caltrans Stormwater Program. Visit cleanwaterca.com. Let's change this to that by picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing vehicles. Learn how at Learn how at cleanwaterca.com. That's cleanwaterca.com from the Caltrans Stormwater Program.
Had you not professed your love for frozen French fries, we would have got right to the Big Five. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Number 5.
We'll see what we do here. Tomorrow night, as Chris said earlier, the San Diego MLS team is set to unveil the new club's name, crest, and brand identity during a soccer fan fest. It's going to feature live entertainment and an interactive fan zone. The Athletic Soccer account on Twitter, on X, has released and leaked this logo that the San Diego MLS team is going to possibly use. I have to say possibly because it's not confirmed. But I retweeted this at Matt Scraby, and it's interesting. Tony, what do you think about this logo?
I'm reluctant to comment on it because we've been got before.
This
on
is
the,
true.
On the
All right,
whole
let me ask
San
this.
Diego FC logo or whatever they may be called.
I'll ask that question once it's official, but here's what I'll ask.
Okay.
How important is the name and logo going to be for immediate interest in this team?
I don't know that the name or logo is going to garner or going to move the needle, I should say, on interest from the people here in San Diego. Now, I think although the wrong name can move the needle, right? I don't think there's the name out there that's going to be like, oh, there it is. I'm supporting said San Diego MLS team. I don't think there's a name out there like that. But
yeah,
I do think there's a name that will immediately turn people off. I don't know
the one I just mentioned.
I don't know what it is, but
no, Chargers would turn people off. There's no question. I know there's like 3 people out there who go, oh yeah, let's bring back the chart. No,
I'm just saying take the name back.
We don't want it. And you're
one
the
of the 3.
Yeah, you're one of the 3 because you're the one that championed that idea a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Chris, how important is the name and logo going to be for immediate interest in the team?
Yeah, I don't think you can sell any tickets because of the name of your team, but I think you can keep some tickets from being sold if you choose the wrong name. So that's your answer.
All right.
Trying to go quickly so that you don't have such a big backup.
There's going to be a carryover.
Well, Devontae Adams spoke today, and he spoke for a little bit, so there's going to be a carryover. But Devontae Adams seems to be one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, but it doesn't seem like his head coach, Josh McDaniels, thinks that he needs to get him the ball. Adams turned some heads yesterday when he was asked about his role in the offense by the media, and here is what he said.
I mean, it's a work in progress. Obviously, we're going to continue to work through it, but, I mean, I'm a human being, and I have extremely high standards for myself and this offense, so to me, it's not just about, I'm sure people thinking like, well, they won the game, they won the Packers game, why is there an issue? I mean, you see why it's an issue. Y'all should know who I am, know what I'm about at this point. So it's not about, when you're a player like me, mentally, my benchmark is not wins and losses, it's greatness. So when I go out there, I expect to be able to have that ability to put that on tape and have an influence on the game. And that's, like I say every week, that's my purpose for being here. I'm not here just to hang out and, like I said, come here to hang out with Derek and all of that stuff from last year. Came here to win and to do it the right way. So if it don't look like it's supposed to look, then I'm gonna be frustrated if I'm not a part of that plan, because as I have the opportunity to go and to change that and make it look like a much better picture out there. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna be frustrated. If Jacoby goes out and have a monster game, or if the offense is scoring every 5 plays like our first drive on the Bills, then it is what it is. It's not about me, but I'm one of the bigger pieces, as to why this offense is gonna go. And if I'm not getting it, then that's obviously not according to plan. So we want to obviously keep working like we are to get that right.
So that was Davante Adams with the media yesterday. Now, Chris, you are up first in this one. How did he come off to you in this clip?
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
He didn't come off great to me. I'm a Davante Adams fan, and I understand the wide receiver diva angle of wanting to make a lot of catches. But in there, he must have said 3 or 4 different times that I came here to win, I came here to win, I came here to win. But he also said that we just beat Green Bay and it doesn't matter because I didn't get mine. And it's, I want greatness, not victories. I don't judge it by wins and losses. So that sticks with me as something that I don't quite understand. But I totally get the whole diva wide receiver thing. He wants the ball. Josh McDaniels isn't smart enough to figure out a way to get him the ball, unfortunately.
There it is.
Yeah.
There's always a Josh McDaniels.
Of course.
Tony, what do you think?
I think that's the issue. Why does it feel like Josh McDaniels runs off all the good players that the Raiders have? This isn't the first time we've heard this kind of conversation. I think Josh Jacobs had an issue at one point.
He almost didn't come back this year.
And he was a running back about it. I think Josh McDaniels has not done a good job of putting his best players in the best position to help his team win. Listen, they won. They're 3-3, but they're lucky to be 3-3, quite frankly.
Yeah, they're not scaring anybody.
They're not, and I think that's what he was trying to say. I don't think he actually worded it the best way.
Right.
But I think what he was trying to say is, yeah, we won, but we didn't necessarily deserve to win that game. And our offense, they're a minus 31 in point differential. So their offense isn't doing what it should do with the likes of a Josh Jacobs in the backfield and having him at the wideout. And so, although he didn't word it correctly, so it comes off a little bit selfish, I get what he was trying to say. If they're going to have their best offense features him, whether it's catching a lot of balls or not, but he's involved in the offense.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack from that. If you're in Raiders land, I got to be a little worried about my star wide receiver.
I'm not. If I'm in Raiders land, I'm like, Josh McDaniels,
could you
please get him the ball?
Or Josh McDaniels, will you please get him the hell out of here? That's what I'd be thinking.
The WNBA.
Wait, you'd be thinking, get who out of there?
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. That's what I thought.
That's what
I thought. The WNBA today fined the New York Liberty $25,000 after some of their players declined media interviews following the team's loss to the Las Vegas Aces last night in the clinching game of the WNBA Finals. Liberty players Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and Betnijah Laney. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but they were also fined $2,000 each by the league for turning down media requests for interviews. Tony, is this a bad look for the WNBA?
No. This happens all the time. And, you lose a game that ends your season. The pro thing to do is as pissed off as you are, is to stand in front of those microphones and answer questions. They couldn't bring themselves to do it. They'll pay a price for it. And you hope moving forward, they'll be able to do better. But I don't think this is a bad look for the WNBA. I mean, ultimately, we got what was a lot of fun watching the Aces party it up as they answered questions as they were downing champagne the whole time.
Chris, what is this a bad look for the WNBA?
No, I don't think so. I think it's an okay look for the WNBA, honestly. It's kind of what athletes are like
Right.
this day and age. Whether they care that much about losing, maybe they do. I mean, I wouldn't be the best loser in the history of the sport. I now looking back would like to say, I would agree to interviews after losing, but I think when I competed, I wasn't really in the mood to talk to anybody. So I think it's an okay look. They just care. They're upset they lost a chance to win the championship. They lost by 1 point. Last second shot didn't fall in. So that's heartbreaking. Pay the fine.
Running back Saquon Barkley made his intentions crystal clear with the NFL's trade deadline less than 2 weeks away. He wants to remain with the New York Giants. He said, "Sitting here, everyone knows how I feel. Everyone knows I don't want to be traded. I don't think anyone in their right mind would want to get traded anywhere. It's not an easy thing to do. You have to move. I have a family. I would love to be here. But like I said, it's not in my control. My focus is to be a leader. I can be for this team and get this thing on the right track," end quote. Chris, does Saquon need to be traded for his career's sake?
He might have to be. The Giants are really, really in a mess right now. And, this offense has taken 20 steps backwards. Now, maybe it's all because of his injury. I'm not sure. The offensive line looks pathetic. I mean, the quarterback's been
They lost another offensive lineman today.
Yeah, knocked out for the season. Not, he's not playing right now because he's been sacked so many times. And Barkley can't find any running room. Barkley's going to be a great running back, but it's going to go down as not much if I think if he stays with the Giants.
I'll give you my answer on the other side.
Oh, okay. Is that? Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any problem with
you
that.
approve, Chris?
Yeah, carryover. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we also have Chris versus the fans. 833-288-0973. We also have Gwynn Chris NFL Pick'em. So we just signed ourselves up for a very busy 4 o'clock half hour.
That's the way we like it.
Here.
Phillies are threatening 2 on, nobody out, no score, top of 7. We'll come back with an update in a moment.
these people actually care about their craft, what they look like when they're out there, that they want to win. I know it's a crazy premise.
And Chris Ello.
No, I will always defend bogey golf because a lot of people think it's a pretty good idea for their mental well-being.
It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
What day is it?
It is.
Oh, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
4:01 on the clock.
It is
Go
Thursday.
Junior.
Yeah, I thought maybe we went back to Wednesday.
Chris Ello, Matt Scraby.
Hello.
Phillies have taken a 1-0 lead on a wild pitch.
Wow. Yeah, that hurts.
That sucks.
Yeah, 2 outs, runner at third, and Thompson, the reliever, came in and just threw a curveball about, well, as Bob Uecker would say, just a little bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah.
Tried to corner and missed.
Yeah, so 1-0 Phillies going to the bottom of the 7th inning now with a chance to go up 3-0.
All right, Scrape, let's finish this Big Five because we got a lot of stuff to do, buddy.
We do. You
We're
need
busy.
to give us
You and
your
frozen
thoughts.
French fries.
Yes, delicious.
Blech.
Tony, does Saquon Barkley need to be traded for his career's sake?
I don't know. It's clear that their offense sucks without him in it. Like, it's not it looks nothing like it did last year when he was healthy for the first time in 3 years. And so, I mean, in some ways, it's proven his point. Like, I'm valuable. Pay me, ultimately. And it sounds he's a New Yorker. He's born in New York, so he doesn't sound like he wants to go. He took the deal that he didn't want to take initially when he was holding out, and now he's proclaiming he doesn't want to get traded. I believe the man when he says it. So I don't. Does he need to get traded for his career? Probably, but doesn't sound like he wants to.
All right, let's get to the final one, and that would be this one. If you're looking to invest in something, maybe you can invest in some real estate in Commerce, Oklahoma. That's where the childhood home of Mickey Mantle. He grew up in that house, and a collectibles company called Rally is going to offer up 47,000 shares, or up to 47,000 shares in the house for $7 each, while valuing the property in Commerce, Oklahoma at $329,000, according to a statement from the company. They said they may want to make it into a destination like Graceland or even offer Airbnb stays at this house. Tony, if offered, would you pay $7 for a share?
No.
He actually thought about it, though.
No, I would not.
Chris?
Did you explain what this shack looks like?
This
doesn't look like Graceland.
No,
I'm saying.
I did a Google Maps street view of it, and Chris and I were kind of looking at it. It looks like a shack. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it looks like. So I probably wouldn't invest the $7.
Who's gonna stay in an Airbnb in that shack?
Yeah, you'd sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag.
Well, I guess it is.
I think of.
Yeah, I know. An Airbnb, or I guess it would be fun if you're a Mickey Mantle fan or a Yankees fan.
Well, it'd be fun to say, I guess, you're a Mickey Mantle fan, but no,
I guess.
I mean, Mickey Mantle once called me at my house. It was a great moment.
Oh yeah, I
I've
remember
told you
that story.
But yeah, I don't think I'd invest in this shack,
Okay,
even though
that
it's
word makes me
connected to
nervous.
Mickey Mantle.
You don't need a magic spell to make this Halloween stress-free and fun. Pick up Halloween in one trip at Smart and Final and use promo code 3FREE, the number 3, then free, all one word, for free delivery on your next 3 orders of $45 or more. You guys ready for Chris vs. the Fans?
Yep.
All right.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before we get into the first question, and you will receive that question for free and start on number 2. The Arizona Diamondbacks have tied it up 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. You will be qualified for our grand prize, a 2-night stay at Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, and tickets to Frankie Valli. Catch the legendary Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons live in concert at the International Theater at Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. The show is a must-see for any fan of classic rock and roll. Get tickets and VIP packages now at Ticketmaster.com. The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovations, bringing back the legendary Vegas fun. Also, we are going to package the Adam Carolla tickets if you win in the regular round of Chris versus the Fans. You have to win in that. You can't win in the tiebreaker, but you can see him on January 7th at the Belly Up.
Adam Carolla tickets would be sweet. You know, baseball's a game of inches, Tony. Ground ball hit by Lourdes Gurriel down the third base line. Alex Boehm dives for it. If he comes up with it, it probably starts a double play. Instead, it's an inch out of his grasp, rolls down to the left field corner. Alex Thomas comes around from first to tie the game, as Scraby said, 1-1.
I told you at the beginning of the game, this game's going to be hard fought. The Diamondbacks are fighting for their playoff lives. This is not going to be an easy one. And right now, 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Diamondbacks with a runner on second, so they're threatening. Let's get to our first contestant. Tyler, come on down.
Dun, dun.
Hey,
Tyler.
First question.
We're here. Let's put it on.
What country are the Padres going to open next season in?
South Korea.
Hey,
Nice job.
Scraby's going. We're shipping him out.
I'm trying to go.
You really want to
I'm
go
speaking
so
to
badly.
existence because, I mean, I'm only going to get to go to South Korea once.
Maybe.
If that.
Question number 2. Deebo Samuel played football at what college?
I do not follow college sports at all. Cal?
Berkeley.
Stay there, Tyler. I don't know that Chris knows.
I think
this
you've
one.
asked this before.
Have I?
I feel like he has too.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
South Carolina. Sorry about
I'm
that.
sorry about that, Tyler.
I think you've asked it. I'm not sure.
Okay. I
don't
believe you.
remember.
I mean, I'm sure there's multiple questions.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
asked.
sure. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to Frank. Frank, welcome to the show, man.
I'm ready for you, fellas.
Here we go.
Hey,
First
Frank,
question.
let's go.
Here we go.
What city do the Texas Rangers play in?
That'd be in Arlington, Texas.
Oh,
went
look
the
at
extra
this
mile
guy.
there.
Not Dallas.
Would you have
Arlington.
accepted Dallas?
Yes, the answer is Arlington/Dallas.
Yeah, very good.
Nice work. Here we go. Question number 2. If you're a heavy listener, you heard this pretty recently. Cal Schwarber has played for 4 major league teams. Give me 3 of the 4.
Schwarber.
All I know is he's a Padre killer, man.
Yeah.
We got to go Philly,
Okay.
I think Boston, and maybe Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Nah.
So
Just
close.
missed it. Nationals, Phillies, Cubs, and I think he said Boston.
He did.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that, Frank.
Oh,
Nice
come
work,
on,
Good try,
Frank.
though,
Very
Frank.
close.
Good
Very
try.
close.
We'll move to our next contestant. Rich, welcome to the show. Happy Thursday.
Hey, Rich.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Doing
Pretty
well.
good,
Here
pretty
we
good,
go.
pretty
First
good, pretty good.
question.
Pretty good.
Little Larry.
Right?
David.
Yeah, a little Larry.
If you went to Tennessee, the University of Tennessee,
Hmm.
you would be a
Oh, Tennessee Volunteer.
yes, indeed. Nice work.
That was
asking
a,
for a city.
no, that was an iffy one for me, but it worked
Your
out.
questions are always iffy.
Yeah.
Here we
Oh,
go.
hey.
Question number 2.
Questions are always
I don't know about that.
What team did Kike Hernandez start with this season?
Started with the Boston Red Sox.
Uh-huh.
We did
All right.
indeed.
Got a player
There we
here.
go,
From
Rich.
Boston.
Rich is going for it.
Question number 3.
Wrap it up, Rich.
I don't know how to say his name, so we're gonna go to
Do
question.
you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead. You read it.
Golfer Louis Oosthuizen
There
is
it
from
is.
what country?
Say that again?
Golfer Louis Oosthuizen is from what country?
British Columbia.
British Columbia.
That is not where I thought you were going to mention, but I appreciate you giving us a guess. Chris, do you know where golfer Louis Oosthuizen?
I think I do.
Really? What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I've seen golf before. He's a major winner. I'm going to guess South Africa, but I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, Rich. You were close. Very close.
The third round
No
where
cigar.
dreams go to die. We'll move to Brandon. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
Third round.
Hey
Dreams
guys,
go to
happy
die.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yes.
Or Thursday. Here we go.
Thursday.
Question number 1. Back to the golf course. What former PGA Tour player was the main player, quote unquote, in starting Live Golf?
Oh, Jesus. I know the answer. I know it, and as soon as Chris gets it, I'm going to regret it.
All right.
Here it
Maybe Chris
comes.
forgets.
The Shark. Greg Norman.
Sorry, Brandon.
Sorry, Brandon.
Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
Richard, come on down.
What's up?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Rich? Long
How are you
time
doing?
no talk
Yeah.
to.
I'm gonna let you know now. Whatever baseball question you got, my answer is gonna be like Tony Gwynn, Nolan Ryan, or Barry Bonds, a hat size smaller.
Here we go. Question number 1. What college football team is ranked number 1 right now?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sit here. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know. I'll go with Alabama.
Alabama. Oh, no.
Georgia.
I'm sorry, Richard.
Sorry, Richard.
Call
but
back.
thanks for
Call
playing.
back. We
I
want
like
you to play
Richard. He's a
again.
good player.
Me too.
I'm out of players on my
I know.
my tablet.
I know. What time is it? Oh, we're almost tiebreaker. Let's go to Quincy in Claremont. Quincy, you're on.
All right, Quincy.
What's going on, guys?
How you
How
doing?
much? You're the man. Play ball.
Here we go.
Okay.
First question. Who started game 1 of the NLCS for the Diamondbacks?
Say it again.
Kelly.
Merrill Kelly. he said.
Merrill Kelly.
Wookie.
Stay there.
Zach Gowan.
Okay, don't stay
The
there.
milkman.
All right.
You
This week has
you are
just
out of-
crushed my questions. We had a reprieve yesterday.
He has one question in each category. Right
Okay,
now.
we're gonna go to tiebreaker. Chris, you have a random person in mind, or Tony?
I can think of somebody.
I got somebody.
Okay, who?
Right now.
Who?
Mo Williams.
Mo Williams. I do
Basketball
remember
player?
him.
Yeah. Shout out to Mo Williams.
He wore the headband.
Good guy.
Good guy. Okay. I think he was on my fantasy team back in the day.
All right, Mo
All right.
Williams. What you got?
Let's see.
Where you dominate.
Yes. Let's go with Andre, I believe is your name. Andre, are you there? Andre? Okay, Andre is not there.
Andre's not there.
Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, are you there?
Hello, Ryan.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
What's going
Not
on,
much,
Ryan? You
not
know how
much.
the tiebreaker works, Ryan?
Yep.
Let's get it.
All right, so I'm going to give Chris a question. He's going to give me a number answer, and Ryan's going to guess whether the actual answer is higher or lower than what Chris said. So, Chris, how many 3-pointers did he make in his career?
How many years did he play in the NBA?
Ooh, it doesn't easily tell me that. Let's see. 4 + 4, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15
Oh,
different
wow. 15
teams.
years.
Mo was a hooper, man.
He made 453s.
450
Yeah, 30 a year.
threes.
Yeah.
Is the actual answer, Ryan, higher or lower?
I'm gonna say lower.
Lower. Sorry about that, Ryan.
He made more than 33s
My
per
man was
year.
a sharpshooter for
He
LeBron
made a
for a while.
ton of threes.
Yeah.
He made 1,094.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Didn't even come close.
He had
Out of the
3
Crimson
seasons.
Tide.
He went to Alabama?
Yes.
He had 3 seasons with over 100 threes.
I think he's the head coach now at Jackson State, actually.
Okay.
My phone said, or my watch said that's what I thought too.
Oh, thank you, watch. All right, let's go to Jeremy in Oceanside. Jeremy, are you ready to play a tiebreaker?
Yeah, let's do this, boys.
All right, Chris. How many games did he start in his career?
Start.
Yeah.
15 years, 20 per year, 300.
Is the actual answer how many? Did he start more or less than 300 games in his career?
Ooh, I'm gonna go higher.
Higher. You are correct. Stay right there. I'm gonna get your information in the break. But
how close was Chris?
How much did you say again?
300.
Not close. 525.
All right. Good.
So
glad we got
good
a winner.
ball player. Good ball player.
Yes, good
All
ball
right,
player.
Let's get to break. When we come back, Gwynn and Chris's NFL Pick'em on the way. Here's some traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. We have only a few minutes left, and we got to get to our NFL Pick'em segment. Quick update. 1-1, Arizona and Philadelphia. They're going to the bottom of the 8th inning in Game 3 of the NLCS. So that's where that stands. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to the Aztecs Nevada football game on Saturday night. We're going to do that at the end of this segment, so stick around for that. But right now, time for us to play our weekly edition of Gwynn and Chris NFL Pick'em, I think.
All right. So
open. That's right. Okay. He said that, didn't he?
He did hear it. He did hear it. Okay.
I did, but I didn't react to it.
Chris, you're going first this week.
Yeah, I'm going first. We have a 3-point game. We got everything on the board. We do not use the spread except in our upset pick. I feel best about Seattle this week.
Dang it.
So I'm going to take the Seahawks over the Arizona Cardinals at home for my 3-point pick. That leaves every other game for you, Tony, but
yeah, you're forcing
sounded
my
like you
hand
wanted
here.
that one.
Yeah, I did. There's something about not trusting Buffalo right now.
I know they're hard to trust, even though they're playing New England, who just looks awful. But
yeah, but Bill's going to make it difficult, at least on Josh Allen. But
Josh Allen might have a bad shoulder. Who knows? What you doing, Buffalo?
Man.
Well, then leave it for me. You can take another game. You can.
Then leave it to me. For me,
you closed the gap a little bit, huh?
I did. I got a upset pick last week. I had the Jets over the Eagles, so that cut the lead in half from 14 points. You were ahead by. Now you're ahead by 7.
All right, give me Kansas City.
You're going to go Kansas City over the Chargers for 3 points. You're going to leave me Buffalo.
I'm going to leave you Buffalo. No, you know what? Check that. Give me San Francisco. I didn't see them at the bottom.
Oh, you want San Francisco as your 3-point pick?
Yes.
All right. You got them. I'll still stay with Buffalo as my 2-point pick.
Perfect.
Now you can have Kansas City.
Now I can have
as your
Kansas
2-point
City,
pick.
yeah.
All right. A lot of strategy here, people. Lots of strategy. All right, time for the 1-point pick, and this is where it gets tough this week. There's not very many big spreads at all. Games are very closely matched. I'm going to go with, for 1 point, I'm honestly thinking of picking against the Dolphins this week because they don't have any cornerbacks, but I got to show some faith in my team. So
yeah, you do.
I'm not going to do it. I like New Orleans tonight, although Trevor Lawrence is supposed to play. They did just announce that a little while ago. So I'm going to go with Baltimore to beat Detroit, which is really kind of not easy, but I'll take it. Baltimore at home over Detroit for 1 point.
Give me Tampa over Atlanta.
Tampa Bay. All right. You know what word is really close to Tampa? It's a female healthcare product. Close to Tampa.
Thanks, Chris.
It's what we used to call them when I was in college, and every time Tony says Tampa Bay, I want to scream, "Oh, and I think better of it. Okay. Just a little something I wanted to share with everybody.
Oh, man.
Upset pick now.
Such a child.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
All right, upset pick. I'm glad you picked the Chiefs because I feel really good about the Chargers. In a desperate situation, Chargers are 5.5-point underdogs. If they win, I'll get 5 points added to my score. The Chargers never beat the Chiefs, but there's always a first time. So I'll take the Chargers as my upset pick this week.
And I'll take New England as my upset.
Really? You really do think Buffalo's going down this week? Okay, that's worth 9 points if you get that right.
Word up.
Okay, there's our picks for the week.
Trivia question.
All right, who's the only University of Nevada quarterback ever to start a game in the NFL?
Ooh,
it's a pretty easy question if you think about it, but if you know, dial in 833-288-0973. First person will win tickets to see Nevada play the Aztecs on Saturday night. In the meantime, Gwynn and Chris returns tomorrow with a full 4-hour show at 2 o'clock. Enjoy the football coming up next here with the Saints and Jags. Enjoy the baseball playoffs. Still 1-1, bottom of the 8th, Philly and Arizona. See you later.